Thank you for this opportunity to be here, to tell my story. Thank you for putting this community together, for creating the coaching program, pack, and everything. And that's definitely what helped me to, to have this business, to be home with my daughter, with my family, and to add 4,000 per month extra, that helps too. So I'm very happy for that. Thank you.
Hey, business building warrior, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. This is an episode where we have a guest, which means we turned on the video camera, and you'll get to meet our guest here in just a couple moments. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should know that a lot of our episodes aren't videos, they're audio only. So you need to go to silentgym.com and click on the podcast link and see all the episodes you've been missing. About 70 or 80% of our episodes are on YouTube. There's some really great ones that are audio only. So be sure to go check that out. Today's guest came to the United States several years ago with $50 in her pocket. $50. She went out and bought $49 worth of groceries and had $1 to her name upon arrival. And jump forward in time, she became a proven Amazon course student and is now a coach on our team. How cool is that? That covers a lot of ground. There's a lot of years in between there. There's a lot of struggles. There's some ups and downs. She sat her entire Amazon business down several times. Life handed her seasons of challenge and change. And for even years at a time, she would set her business down and then pick it back up. And then towards the end of her story, the past few years, our team has kind of come into play. We've come into the picture. She's been a coaching student. She's ramped up and built a beautiful business that you'll be hearing about in the rest of this episode. Her theme today, which I just loved, and you'll hear her mention this, is persistence, which was especially significant because as we recorded this episode today, Dani was remembering the 7-year anniversary of the loss of her first husband due to cancer. And she shares very openly about that. But I think one of the things that stood out today as I went through this episode, because if you listen to several of our episodes, you're going to hear a lot of them have themes of like technical, practical tips and strategies for growing your Amazon business. But this is one that, while it has a considerable amount of that, it also has a whole lot of getting to know the human behind the business, the person who has real struggles, who's been as low as you can get, who's been as down as you can get, and who has risen and persisted and fought and struggled. She started a cleaning business, and you might think, oh, that poor lady had to clean houses for a living. No, she loved it. She did great. It was thriving, but she found something better and different because she wanted to be home with her daughter, especially after she had lost her husband. That became important to her. So she shares those kind of details very transparently. And I think I mentioned earlier, she's from Brazil, so English isn't her first language. She speaks English beautifully, but she's had to learn a new language on top of all these other challenges. And she's just done so awesome. We're so proud of her. We've also got her as one of the reactive coaches now on our team, I mentioned, which means when you join our coaching program, you get a primary coach, which is the main person you'll be working with. And you also get a reactive coach, which is someone you can call anytime you need help. So she's going to be doing some reactive, and very soon after this episode, I'm sure she'll be doing some proactive coaching with us as well to help people go through the programs that we teach around here. So if this is your first episode, or you've only listened to a couple episodes of our podcast, I strongly encourage you listen to 10 or 15 episodes, this one included, to kind of get a feel for what kind of people are in this community, the kind of success stories that we're generating, the quality of our coaching program, the quality of the content that we teach. We've been teaching e-commerce for 20 years now at this point. For me personally, we've had a coaching program for 18 years with over 7,000 students. We'd love to serve you if the message you hear today and the kind of success stories you hear on this podcast are of interest to you and you want to get serious. It's going to be work. We don't have any magic formulas for you. You have to work to make this business work. Anything worth having in life requires work, a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice. But if you're willing to start doing it, the systems we teach work. We'd love to show that to you. So without any other introductions necessary, let's get Miss Dani Mavus on the line. So Dani, welcome to the program.
Hi, Jim. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to talk to you again. And this is another one of those times where we should have hit the record button sooner because we're talking about so many cool things. We just kind of stopped and said, wait, let's hit record. We've got to tell your story. So many interesting roads we can go down. So let's get right into it, Dani.
Yes. So my name is Danielle. I was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. My family came from humble beginnings. But with education, we were able to rise above. And my parents, they thought, okay, go to good school, get your degree, get a good job, and you'll be fine. So that's what I tried to do. I did all the way until graduating. I graduated in psychology. But then the economy in my country at that time, 1998, 1999, was not great. Not that's way better now, but it was really hard to find job. And they always ask, every time I was looking for a job, they asked for experience. And I said, well, but I just graduated. I do have experience as a trainee. Does that count? No, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get experience if I don't get an opportunity? Anyways, fast forward, I've been to United States vacationing, Disney, a few times. And I had taken 4 years of language school in Brazil as well, learn English. So an opportunity came for me to move to United States, and I didn't think twice. I came with $50 in my pocket and a credit card joint account that I had with my mom, but I knew in my heart that I was not going to touch that, only if like extreme emergency. So I came to the United States. Some acquaintance people, like they allow me to stay in that place for first month. And then that's how I started. I got I went to grocery shopping. I spent $49 in groceries. And then I started my life in the United States with $1 in my pocket, actually.
Wow. That's amazing. And now you were married at the time, correct or not?
No, I came to the United States.
You came by yourself.
I was single, all by myself.
Okay, I'd forgotten that part of your story. Okay. This is before you were married.
Yes, before I was married. That was in 2000. March 2000.
Okay.
I came. And then, I found jobs as a babysitter, and then eventually cleaning houses. And then eventually I got my own cleaning clients. And eventually I built a business around it. So I had my cleaning business, LLC, everything, for 15 years. In 2000, so I after that met my husband, and we were married. In 2010, I had my daughter, and I was cleaning. I had the cleaning business. I had a few people working for me. It was a small cleaning business, but very dedicated. I had my clients for 12, 13 years. I did like a very personalized cleaning, like almost like if I was cleaning my own place. So, and they loved it. I loved it too. And throughout this time cleaning, I always had Audible. Like I was always listening to books. So I want to keep my mind sharp, because, but anyways, I had my daughter, and then I was like, oh, I want to be home. I want to experience this time with her. And I was always looking for ways to, work online, but wasn't until 2013 when I saw online, I found a course that would teach how to sell on eBay. So I learned how to drop ship. Don't do it. To drop ship on eBay in 2013. That was around September 2013 was my very first online sale. And then 2014, I still had the cleaning business. I forgot to mention one thing. I had along with the cleaning business, I took a master in clinical Christian counseling. So throughout, like right after I had my daughter, 2010, I had my cleaning business, taking care of my daughter, and then I had counseling clients as well that I used to see, them in the evening. So I was like very busy.
What kind of counseling did you do?
Christian counseling. It's counseling with a biblical aspect. So and I got a master's degree in clinical Christian counseling. So that's what we do. We focus on cognitive behavioral therapy. Mostly, I like to focus on working and helping people with anxiety and depression. So, and I still do this like once a week. Every Thursday afternoon, I separate time for that. That's a ministry in my head and
Absolutely.
in my heart too, that I do.
Are you still looking for clients?
Right now, I kind of like have my set of clients. I try not to get more because I'm trying to grow my business further. And so it's hard to keep all the plates spinning.
I think you might have to raise your rates and bring on a few new clients after this episode. I think a lot of people are going to say, hey, I'd love to have her as a counselor to help me through some things. And I love that it's biblically based as well. I'm familiar with that world of CBT therapy and fantastic, beautiful ministry. I love it. Yes. But just Thursdays right now. The rest of your work time do you still have the cleaning business or have you moved away from that?
I moved away from that. That was up until 2015. And so back to 2014, I, start also selling on Amazon, not only eBay, Amazon. And then drop shipping, big no, don't do it. You will sell a product and then you go to buy and then it's out of stock. Yes. And then I was like, oh my God, this is not a good model.
No, for those who haven't heard, it is an impossible model to scale. And you'll hear people saying, oh no, it's great. Well, those are the people selling a course about drop shipping. Anyone I've ever talked to who's tried to scale a drop shipping business of any kind on eBay or Amazon or Facebook Marketplace for that matter, any of the platforms, it ends up crashing and burning very quickly. I've had a few podcast guests over the years as well who have echoed that, who are playing at a very high level with very slim margins, trying to do the dropship thing. Just get control of your own inventory. It's so much better, right? Yeah. So thanks for pointing out that dropshipping is a no zone for us, for sure, around here.
Yes. So I had that experience, and then I said, maybe I need to find another way, other things to sell on Amazon. So I took a break from eBay. And I remember like one of my cleaning clients, they were relocating back to Asia and they were like getting rid of a bunch of things in the house. And I have this thing that I follow, like this passage in the Bible, Matthew 7:7, ask and you will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock at the door, it will be open to you.
That's right.
And also the Bible tells in James 4:2, you do not have because you do not ask. So I tend to be like my personality, I'm like quiet, more to myself, but out of necessity, I had to learn how to have a business first with the cleaning business. And I had to learn how to communicate, to really open my mouth and ask. So at this client house, I saw this huge library, like with books and everything. And then I asked them if I could have it. And they said, yes, please.
That's so great. Do you know, I don't know if you've ever heard me. Now I've heard you go by Dani and Danielle. Which do you prefer?
Dani, you can call me Dani.
Okay. I was making sure. Because one of the cool lessons that I've mentioned a few times, I don't know if you've ever heard these episodes or not, but one of my mentors, Daniel Lappin, who studies business principles from the Torah, from the Old Testament that we use as Christians, one of the things he points out is the most powerful tool you have for effective progress in business is your mouth.
Yes.
Right? It's not your creativity so much, or your hands, or your feet, or your hustle, or your discipline, or it's your mouth. Learning to speak at the right time and say the right things to the right people is the most powerful way to project your business forward dramatically. Because so many times we just don't say anything and we miss out. So using your mouth to establish relationships, to ask good questions. It's a great book by John Maxwell, actually. I haven't referenced in a while. Great leaders ask great questions is the title of the book. But congratulations on using your mouth, opening it. And just for that one little sentence, hey, mind if I take these? You were doing them a huge favor. They didn't have to move them to Asia. You're like, yes, sir, please take them. And so I take it you ended up selling these.
Yes, I did. So some books, they were already listed on Amazon. Some books were not. So I just decided to list them, to create the listing and everything, took the pictures. I Google it. I went to YouTube. I tried to find, how to do it. I learned, and boxes and boxes and boxes of books.
How many books approximately?
I don't even know.
More than 1,000?
I wouldn't say 1,000, but I had at least like 6 cases of books, like
hundreds, maybe.
Yes.
Dozens,
yes.
hundreds. Yeah. And all free, just because you asked.
All free.
And we hear that all the time, by the way. People just run local ads in their neighborhood, Facebook group, whatever. It's like, hey, if anybody ever has extra books, I'll clean them out. I'd love to get them off your hands. Your phone will ring. Yes. And that's free money.
Yes.
Just as a tip.
So some books didn't make it, so I donate to a library. But from that, I ran the numbers. My first payout was September 2014. My first payout was $113.72. Well, for that year, I sold just the books. I wasn't doing RA, I wasn't doing anything, just the books. I sold $4,150.32 just for like asking, that was the payout,
yes.
After fees and everything.
The thing I don't want listeners to miss here is you came from, was it Sao Paulo? I can't remember. Brazil?
From Rio de Janeiro.
You came from Rio with $50. You bought $49 of the groceries. You had $1 and you started a business hustling. And the way you just said the number 4,100, whatever it was, with such pride, that is phenomenal. Just if we stopped right there. Of course, the story doesn't stop there, but well done. And congratulations. That's so cool. I mean, there's a lot of lessons in that for all of us, but great job, Dani. You've got such a great story.
Thank you, Jim. So, and then I figured like, okay, I need to learn how to sell other things. And around that time, my husband found out that he had pancreatic cancer, stage 4. My daughter was 3 years old. And then, I was taking care of him, have the cleaning business, had the counseling business. And I was like, okay, I need to, focus here. And then I kind of stopped doing, like I still had the book selling, but I wasn't sending any more books. And so he passed away a year later in 2015. And I was still, I had learned how to then do RA to scan, so I would go to a few places scanning. At that time, I had decided to close my cleaning business. I took a break from counseling because, it was a lot. And I had to, really focus on my daughter and myself. And then 4 months later, we were in New Jersey at that time. So my husband was born in New Jersey. And so my daughter and I, we just packed. And 4 months later, after he passed, I drove down to Florida and we bought a place here and start over.
And that's where you've been since.
Since, yes, in Florida.
We were chatting a little bit beforehand. Today is a significant anniversary. And if you don't mind, retell that story just a little bit for everyone. And thank you for being here today, by the way. I didn't realize when we scheduled this that's what today was. Actually, you scheduled it.
Yes.
But
yeah. It's so funny because when I look at the schedule, like, I had options to schedule any other day, but I said, no, this day is significant because today is 7 years since he passed. And but he used to be very persistent. He learned him like on his own how to play guitar. He was a musician, and boxing as well. He was a state champion in boxes, so he had the golden gloves, that I saved for our daughter as a keepsake. And so he was persistent, and that's what I remember about him right now. And that's how I try to tell my daughter, don't give up, persist, And so today is a day that's the word in my mind, persistence.
Well,
And
we're honored that you're sharing that with us today. And as people hear this episode, whether it's right after it comes out or it could be years later from now, I think that's going to be very meaningful for some people that need to hear that message of, okay, yeah, some bad stuff happened. Okay, today's the anniversary of that bad stuff, but what are you going to do? Persist, right? With God's help in your case and in mine as well. I don't know how people do it without that walk. Actually, I honestly don't. I've leaned on that so much throughout my life, and even more as I get a little older and see my kids and going off and doing risky things and making big decisions. And like, oh, how do you do it without God? I just don't know. But thank you for persisting with us today and doing this episode today.
Absolutely. And all that with God's help. Without him,
Amen.
Can't do anything. And then we're down in Florida, start a new life. And then I think I was contacted by the office. I think I bought the PAC, the Proven Amazon course.
Right.
Found it online through a newsletter of someone that I think used to also be a coach for you. I forgot to write down his name. But I think he also taught how to sell on eBay. That's how I had the contact. And through the newsletter, I found your course. And then, I don't know, I think I bought the course and the office contacted me. And then they offer coaching and asked if I said, yes, I would love to. But I just moved. And it's like everything is up in the air. And I think I'll be ready in the beginning of 2016. This was around October 2015. So in 2016, I was still selling on Amazon little by little. But then 2016, I signed up for coaching. And it's so funny because I had the funds, and I thought, I want to do the easiest way, which I thought was private label. And I'm so thankful that, your office told me like, no, and they explained to me, and then I'm like almost like they popped my balloon. But I'm like, now I'm like so thankful,
Yes. Did you a huge favor.
Yes. And so I start coaching, but then I realized, wait a minute, I have to keep going back to things. And like, I realized nothing would stick into my mind. Nothing. Like I would go, I have to like rewatch the video many times. And at that time, I was home. So I was just home, stay-at-home mom with my daughter. My daughter had just turned 5 years old, and take her to school. We used to live in a beautiful, like big apartment right in front of a beautiful lake. We used to go for walks. That was like a God gift, that place. And I didn't have like, why I have the time. Why is like it's not sticking into my mind? Then I came to know that there is a condition called widow's brain. I didn't know that. And
widow's brain. Yes.
The widow's brain. Yeah.
My mom is dealing with a little bit of that, just the ability, struggling to recollect. She's not as sharp as she used to be. She used to be able to like multiply 2-digit numbers in her head quickly and that sort of thing. And now it's just like, oh, she's struggling. And it's not age. It came on when we lost dad. It came on and it hung with her for quite a while. It has been. Yeah. She's very familiar with that.
Yes, I'm sorry about your dad's passing. Yes, and it is a condition, and I didn't know. And I was like, my gosh, like what's happening to me? So I was embarrassed. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to take some time from coaching. So in the beginning, I didn't work for the coaching. It's not that the coaching didn't work for me. It wasn't the right time. I thought I was okay.
Yeah.
It was a few months after my husband had passed, but I wasn't,
Yeah.
and until up to this day, sometimes I need to take notes. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a conversation and boom, I just forget, like, the name of a person, and it's getting better, but it's still something. It affects. We think we don't realize that, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is a condition. So
that trauma does, as you well know, I mean, this is your field of expertise. That trauma, those traumatic life circumstances do a lot. I think that's a lot of what we're seeing in our culture too. Explains a lot of
yes.
Everybody has had more stress than typical the past few years. Everybody.
Yes.
And that trauma and the effect on your ability to think clearly and make good rational decisions. I mean, that's rippling throughout our culture in many ways, right? So I'm sure your services are very needed.
Yes, it is. Thank you. So that was 2016, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break from coaching, but I'm still going to keep on my own pace. So I studied PAC, and then I used to take my daughter to school and go scanning. You just scan the whole show. You go to a store and scan everything. And I used to look and say, oh my God. And I know myself, I tend to get overwhelmed. So I have to do things like little by little. So, but I was selling, and so that was until up to 2017, December 2017. So from 2016 to 2017, I was engaged in almost every single thing, every single,
category.
Thank you, Jim. I sold shoes, Nike shoes. I used to go to outlets. I used to clothes, everything, you name it. Shoes. I went to, I bought wholesale shoes. Like I got wholesale accounts. I opened a business, an LLC, to sell on Amazon and everything. You name it, I did. And then 2017, like Q4, December, my living room full of boxes.
Right.
And then I sat down myself and I'm like, oh my God, I'm done. I can't do it. And then I think I was burned out.
Yeah.
Honestly. And other thing that contribute for that state of mind, because that was like temporary, but at that time I didn't know, right? I wasn't giving up, but I didn't realize I'm not a numbers person. And I was doing the business, put on the credit card, paying the credit card off. And, but I wasn't seeing like the profits. So I didn't know my numbers really well. And I think that contributed, like, wait, I'm working and really hard, but show me the money. Where's the money? And then I was like, I think I'm done for now. I'm not quitting. I told myself, not quitting. I'm going to take a break. I need a break. Then I sent everything in and I took a break. And that took 3 years break. And then in 3 years, right after that, I took, I rested for a few months. And then I started praying, God, I don't want to just be home, like take my daughter to school. I want to do something, and then God put in my heart to volunteer at a women's clinic, counseling women with unwanted pregnancies. And, and after that, I became a second grade teacher at my daughter's school. She goes to a Christian school, and they asked me to first, kind of be there a few days there. Other teachers were not there to substitute. And then after that, they asked if I want to teach for the whole year. And then I taught second grade. Loved the kids, but it was hard work.
Oh, yeah,
hard work. Oh my God. I never, like cleaning houses. No.
That's nothing compared to controlling a classroom full of second graders, right?
No. No. And all the lesson planning and stuff like that. And I was like, I took a break, but I never left the Facebook community, our Facebook
Of
community, right?
course.
So, and then once in a while, I used to take a look and see the conversation, and I start seeing replans. It's like, what is that? And then I said, oh, wait, it's a more predictable way to sell. Oh, I like that better than like just scanning, and then the next month scanning some other things other than what I found last month. And I said, okay, when I'm done teaching, then I'm gonna go back into selling to Amazon. I'm gonna call Jim Cochran's office. I'm gonna reactivate my coaching time, which I still had some coaching left. And that's what I did. After the school year ended, I decided not to go back to the teaching job. And that was around August 2020. So it's me and my daughter.
And I love this, Dani, about your story too. It's occurring to me. You took two pretty big, significant breaks away from coaching.
Yes.
And when you called us, I didn't answer the phone, but what did they say when you called us and you said, hey, I'm ready to go again? What did they say? Let's go. I mean, what
Yes,
did they say?
they said, let's go. Great. And they assigned me to a coach.
I love our team.
Oh, the team is fantastic. Oh my God. Everyone, like people are really nice. And yes, I'm very happy. Like I said, the coaching first time, I didn't work for the coaching. It was like, on my end.
And then you needed a break.
I needed a break. Yes. Then I needed a break. And then, and then I decided to go back. That was August 2020. Mm-hmm. All right. So at that time that I took the 3-year break, I downgraded my account on Amazon. So I wasn't gated. I wasn't gated in just about everything, and then not anymore when I went back.
Oh, yeah. You lost all those ungatings when you went from business to personal. Yeah, that's one of the big reasons you want to hold on to it if you can.
Yes.
Right.
So another
you kind of started over a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. So I said, okay, and then learning little by little. That was around the time that God have heard our prayers. My daughter and I, we've been praying. We had been praying for a while, for a few years, for God to, send her a new papa, for God to bless me with a Christian husband. And he did. And in the middle of the pandemic, he did. And then I'm like, just learning how to do this business again. And I had stars in my eyes. Then I couldn't focus. Okay, we started dating, got engaged, got married, blended our families. I have a stepdaughter, and she's 17. And then I said, okay, then January 2021. Then let's go. Full force, replans only, doing first I start with one brand, took pictures of the stores. I had a connection that I had a VA in the past to help me with a few things. And then I connect with her again. She was available and she's been helping me since then, since January 2021. So I sent her all the pictures. I told her what to do. We created a database, Google, a spreadsheet. And, I went to the store, start buying, sending in. And then from that day to today, from January 1st, 2021 to today, I've sold 102,000, and I have the number, $320.
Hey, we'll get back to the show in just a second, but I want to tell you about the repricer that we use for my account and many of the leaders on our team use as well. It's Be Cool. You can power up your replan business and ramp up your Amazon sales with Be Cool's latest brand new conditional repricer. It has artificial intelligence, machine learning built in. You can auto switch between many different artificial intelligence repricing rules like inventory levels or sales velocity, profit margin. countless other conditions. Mix and match different conditions up to hundreds of customized combinations that allow you to have a very distinct strategy that gives you a unique edge. The possibilities are endless with BeCool's Amazon Repricer. Here's the deal. Sign up with our exclusive link for listeners of this show at silentgym.com/repricer. That's silentgym.com/repricer. To be eligible for a 30-day free trial, no credit card is required. For more information, go to BeCool's page, silentgym.com/repricer. Check it out. Hey, let's get back to the show.
From January 1st, 2021 to today, I've sold 102,000, and I have the number, $320.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So that's approximately, you're saying 20, that's all 2021 and this year so far. So that's about 18 months worth of.
Yeah.
Approximately. Yeah. For $17,000 net profit.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yes.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
And it's kind of, it's picking up pace too, because I know you're working with a coach still, and we'll talk more about the role you're going to be playing on our team here in a moment too, but you're still working with one of our coaches, correct?
Yes. So this is what happened. Then I had some coaching time when I came back from my 3-year break, right? And that ended. Then 2021, I was doing, out of learning from, the replan, the pack, course, all the content with the replans. Also, I joined a Kate Shattuck bootcamp, replans bootcamp. I was I'm still a member at the Legends group. I was at the second Legend reunion that ever happened. I was there back.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I had no problem buying a ticket, going to conference. I've been to our own conferences, I think 2 or 3 times. I was back in Tampa last year. I've been to the one you did in Orlando as well.
Beautiful. Are you coming to Louisville in August?
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. August 12th through 14th, for those who don't know, theprovenconference.com. Awesome. So come meet Dani there. That's great. I didn't realize you were coming. That's fantastic.
Yes, I'll be there. It's very valuable. Not only the content's wonderful, very well put together, and plus, all the contacts you make, you talk to people, you build friendship. One thing that I learned about this business is you don't have to do it alone. I tried to do it alone before, because I'm naturally like more to myself, shine, but you don't need to do it alone. And I learned that, and going to the conference is a great way to meet other, mind-like people, and, and doing the business. Yes.
That's the most powerful thing I think our community has to offer. Yeah, we have great concepts for teaching you, for educating you, business principles, and coaching, and all the technical details that go into building a business. But the community, the quality of the people, the relationships. In some cases, some people come into e-commerce and they succeed for a season and they build great relationships, and then they move away from e-commerce, but they still have those incredible relationships. Entrepreneurs are pretty amazing people. They just are. You talked about persistence and all of those qualities that go into being a successful business builder. The delayed gratification. We're patient people, service-minded. You got to do things that other people want. You can't make your life about yourself. It's got to be about others. Well, that makes you a selfless person. If you're going to provide a product, you're going to take risks and hope they pay off later. So that discipline of, managing your risk tolerance well, that just makes for a pretty cool person. And you get a big group of them. It's a neat community. So glad you're going to be with us. That's great. Yes. And I encourage you to connect with some people that you can kind of stay in touch with on a regular basis. Do you have that yet? Like a kind of almost a mastermind or a group of friends from the community? Do you have something like that?
Yes, I do. So good. Brian Alston is my coach. We do have our own mastermind, and I have another one with a few ladies that I think one lady, one of them, she posted on like, I want to create a mastermind group. And then a few ladies got together, and we do that as well. And yes, all about connection. So what I was saying about the coaching. So my first time I bought the coaching, I had the still left over of coaching time. And then I did that in the 2020, the end of the 2021, just writing from that, learning how to do the replan. That's one thing, learning. I was still learning and building as I go, like an airplane that's taking off and being built as it goes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's how we have to do. It's like, if you keep like, oh, let me just watch the video one more time, and then like it doesn't work. Like, just learn the basic, go learn the basic, but start taking action, and then at the end of 2021, I contacted the office again, and then I saw Brian Olson's presentation. I think was an online conference you did.
A virtual conference at the end of the year last year. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, oh, I like that. I like this model, this business strategy that he's using. So I contacted the office. I spoke with Matt Thompson, great guy, really, really nice guy. And then, I bought some more coaching. I am very, very happy. Brian and his wife, Robin, are great, great people. Robin is like, is a spreadsheet, is like, ninja,
Right.
and so my husband is great as well with IT and so we had already collaborated a few things, like my husband helped automated a shopping list way that Brian created. My husband automated that. We push a button and then
That's awesome. They kind of like improved the system together.
Yeah.
That's great. I hadn't heard that story. I love it. What's your husband's name, by the way?
It's Van.
Sven?
Van.
Sorry.
Van.
I had a door shutting right as you said it outside my office. Van. Gotcha. That's great. So Van and Brian were working together a little bit on a project. That's so
yes.
Cool. I love this community. I love those connections that happen and I have no idea. And things are just improving because of all the great people. It's kind of hard to keep tabs of, all these great relationships that are forming and people connecting. So,
yes.
Well, one of the things, it wouldn't have been not too long after this part of your story where Brian called me up and said, okay, we've got this Dani, that is really learning fast in her business. She took her time getting here, but now that she's going, she's taken off and she's doing great. I think she'd make a good potential coach. And I want you, so we started that ball rolling. And we've got you now as our most recent reactive coach for now, is what I'm told, which is kind of like the starter point. And then we move you into full-time coaching. But reactive just means you're someone that could get a phone call at any point in time, I guess,
yes.
From any of our students. And it's kind of like everybody has a proactive coach and they've got a reactive coach, right? Did you have a reactive coach as well? Did you ever use that part of your coaching experience, or did you just work with your primary coach?
The first round of coaching sessions, I don't think we had that proactive.
We didn't use that feature back then. It's kind of a newer thing.
Yes. And Brian is my reactive and proactive coach.
He's both.
He's both. I already used all my proactive time. So now we are in the reactive phase of it. Yeah. And it's really, really helpful to know that you are building a business, but you have someone there holding your hand. That's someone that you can ask a question, or just like last night, we had a session. So funny. I was like trying to do one thing. It's like, this is not working. See, I click this and there. And it's like, oh, it's this cues. No, I was putting one number. It was another number. I was like, oh, seriously, we need two brains to do that. And we start laughing. But like some details, like, little things, but it's so good to have somebody else there, like helping you along the way. So I'm very thankful for, this community you put together, Jim. Thank you so much. I'm thankful for the coach, people in the office. They're great. They're great. I also want, if you give me that opportunity, to thank Kate Shattuck, Matt Thompson, Oscar Mutombo and his wife. Very nice people. I sat down with them at the Tampa event for 10 minutes. They gave me some good advice as well. Great people. I've met many, many great people. Just this week, I went to the outlets with Michael Morejon. I don't know how to.
Really?
Yes, he's
That's
down
great.
in Miami, right?
So you're in the same vicinity. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Another great connection.
Yeah, he's an hour south out of me. I'm in Boca Raton area.
Sure.
But we met almost like halfway.
Halfway between.
Yeah, in between. And then, we went, I took my daughter with me. She's in school vacation. And then, we went and we shop, and he gave me more few tips because I used to shop at outlets, right?
Okay.
So now I'm like adding that as well. Like I have
adding it back in. You know how to get around an outlet store.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
A lot of replens doesn't involve outlet stores. You're looking for the same boring products over and over again with replens, but there's money to be made going and finding deals too, right? It's worth a Saturday every once in a while for sure. Right.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Very good.
So I want to thank everyone who some way helped me to come to where I am now. So I'm very, very thankful.
Well, yeah, you exude gratitude. It's very apparent that you're a grateful person, and where it's very healthy for us, I think, to think sometimes, okay, where would I be if not for these people, this circumstance, this challenge that I thought was going to wipe me out? These things that God saw me through. If those things hadn't happened to me, where would I be? Right. Yes. But look where you are.
Yes.
Look where you are.
First of all by the grace of God.
That's right.
And I know that the people that came into my life to help me through, they all appointed by God too. It's like divine appointment.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I try to live by those myself. Well, speaking of that, you shared with me before we hit record, just kind of getting to know you a little bit more outside of the Amazon business, that you're stepping into a new role as some addiction counseling, basically you and your husband, and some recovery counseling, I guess is the preferred. And it's a very similar role to the one that my mom plays. So what is that? Talk to us about that just a little bit.
Yes. So you were sharing with me the other day that your parents helped with this program at church for recovery for people who are going through difficult times, like trauma and difficult time. I think it's not only with alcohol or drugs. I think it's like any circumstance that's...
My dad always said anybody with hurts, hangups, addictions, or if you love somebody with one of those.
Yes.
That's who it's for. Celebrate Recovery is the name of the program. I think it's I just learned this recently. You'd think I would have known this. My parents went in for years, but it's out of Saddleback Church, Rick Warren's church in California.
Rick Warren, yes.
I just realized that recently. I enjoy his podcast. I've read his books. Purpose Driven Life is one of my favorite books, but I didn't realize that's where the whole thing had been birthed. But yes, my mom's in leadership in the state of Indiana for a region. And it looks like you guys are going to be some directors locally for the program. That's awesome. Yeah. So I told you, connect with my mom if you need anything, but
absolutely,
it's so needed. People out there trying, they're on that recovery journey, as we say. And I'm proud of my dad. He finished the race well, 40 years clean and sober before we lost him about a year and a half ago, 40 plus years. And
I'm sorry about your loss.
But it was due to programs like that. And he was leading, but he was in it too. So
yes. Yeah, so yes, our pastor just stopped us. Oh, you guys want to help with this program? We're trying to put, we are Brazilians, right? My husband is Brazilian as well. He's half Chinese, half Brazilian. And so, the pastor asked us and we were like, okay, we're going to pray about it. And we pray about it. And then we said, okay, we're going to do it. And we're going to learn the program first and do it as a ministry,
That's beautiful. Well,
I like to help. I like to help. So that's where it's my heart.
Well, that's where my kids here, I'm looking at the clock about a little over an hour from right now, are going to watch the kids. 2 of my kids are going to go watch all the young kids at the Celebrate Recovery at our church. That happens once a week. And my mom runs it. And then my kids, they love it. They go over there and get to see, and they talk about the kids and they're building relationships there. So it's a big part of our family's work in ministry too. So yeah, Awesome. Good job.
Awesome.
So what's your plans for your business is one of the questions I want to get into. Like, you've picked up you're in a season. I think as I've listened to your story, I've heard several seasons, and we don't typically kind of go that deep into the personal stories of our guests all that often, but I really wanted to with you today because you've been through multiple seasons. You've picked your business up and you've put it down. You've come back to it, picked it up, put it down, come back to it. But it feels to me like you're in a season now, and we've been with you on that journey in one way or another, and much of it anyway, where you're ready you've got the foundation now, you've got your persistence, 7-year anniversary today. That's the theme word, right? So where's this going? Not that we can project the future, but where do you feel like God's leading you in this business now? What are your goals?
Well, my goals, and I was running the numbers with Brian. I'm well on my path to surpass 6 figures this year in sales. So that's going to happen for sure. I'm already like past halfway through that up to this day for sales of this year. And, like focus more into expanding. Like I said, I was focusing on one brand, one store. So I learned not to put all my eggs in one basket. So I'm
Right.
like focusing now into spreading into different, ASINs and products from different places other than being dependent on one brand only. So it's always a lesson, right? I'm focusing on that lesson now. And learning and growing my replan. I have one VA. My goal is I work out of my garage down here in Florida. Florida is very hot. We put an AC in the garage. I have a big ping pong table. That's where the prep is done. And I'm doing the prep. My husband helps sometimes. My mom helps sometimes, even my daughter. But it's tiring. So my plan is to either hire a prep center or hire someone to come to my garage and help with the prepping. This way I have more time to go out and shop. I enjoy shopping. It's not a problem for me. I love driving. I really enjoy, like I put the music on and then it's not a problem for me to go to this place, that place, buy the stuff I need. But, at some point I will get tired. I know that. So, little by little to grow and, prep center, find someone to help and grow from that. Maybe grow into wholesale. I did have a wholesale account right in the beginning in 2021, was a Brazilian distributor. Was selling some of the products, but some of the products tanked. They were all replans. The wholesale, but like they became replans, right? Because I could buy them over and over and sell them over and over. And so my goal is, once I find help or decide to go with the prep center, add wholesale into the mix as well.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So you're looking to have a 6-figure year, and it looks to me around 17% approximately net margin.
Yes.
Right? So great for a part-time gig that you've kind of fit into your life, a very busy life, with a daughter and a stepdaughter with what would you say, 12 and 17?
Yeah, 11 and 17. Yeah.
11. Yeah. That's beautiful. But you're figuring it out. And you're on a great path. And it's an honor having you on the team too. You and I had a really good conversation when we first got to know each other, and you were a new coach kind of coming on board. And I always like to get to know those folks a little bit. So you just got such an encouraging heart. I really think what's going to happen after this episode comes out is it's going to resonate with somebody. And you're not one of these 6-figure a month stay-home moms. We've got some of those.
Yes.
You've got a different pace. You've got a different life plan. But you've also got a different skill set, a different gift mix that I think is really going to resonate with somebody. And they're going to say, hey, I want Dani as my coach. I want her. So I think that call's coming for sure. But man, it's been great hanging out with you a little bit today, Dani. And I know you'd had a list. I don't know if we got through the things that you wanted to share or not. I don't want to leave anything out that you had on your mind today.
Yes. And I think one phrase also that's stuck in my mind is there is powering focus. In the beginning, like right in the beginning to 2014, 2015, 16, the shiny object. Oh, I'm going to do RA. I'm going to do OA. I'm going to do wholesale. I'm going to do this.
Drop ship.
Oh, drop ship, right? No, like pick one thing and focus on succeeding on that one. Then you add something else. And that's my goal, succeeding completely to replan. I want to get to 50,000 per month sales. And then I'm going to add maybe wholesale, to the mix. But that's what I want to leave you guys. Like, yeah, like my story is not like, oh, the first month, 10,000. My story is like, focus. Focus and don't give up. Be persistent. You have the roadmap. If you can have the pack, I recommend. It's a proven Amazon course. They have everything inside. You don't have to go through everything. Go through the first thing. If it's replan, go through the replan course. Then learn how to do, succeed, send in stuff right away. Learn as you go. You're going to make mistakes. Be okay with that. It's hard for me because I don't like to make mistakes, but I had to learn how to make mistakes and be okay with that. That's part of the process.
Yes.
But one step at a time, because it can be overwhelming. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. You're going to be working a lot. I work a lot, like few hours packing and it's a lot of work. It's not like you're going to sit and you're going to do nothing. No, you're going to do a lot of work. If you're not afraid of that, go for it. So that's my advice. And, and you can grow as big as you want your business to be. I'm fitting into my lifestyle for now. I'm very busy, being a wife, a mom, a stepmom, and counseling and with church. We're very involved as well. So yes, I work like 20, sometimes 25 hours per week on my Amazon business. But, if you have more time, your business will grow faster. And just persist.
You've built a beautiful business. You've got a great foundation, and this can get as big as you want it to get. I mean, I know you're hanging out with other coaches on our team, for example, who have significantly larger businesses. But one of the things that we get requests for sometimes is, hey, I just feel like it's unachievable. Those people talking 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, it just doesn't feel doable. So I love hearing the stories where you're excited, you're energized, you have a bright future, the system works, you've squeezed it into your life, a few hours here and there. It's taken you a while, but here you are, excited about it, on a great path, a coach on our team. You understand the systems. You're just on a great trajectory is one of my favorite words. You really, if you play out your life 5 years forward, barring any surprises, you're building something pretty awesome and significant for sure. So well done once again, Dani. And it's a pleasure hanging out with you. Anything else on your list before we wrap this one up?
No, we're good.
Hit it all? Good.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to be here, to tell my story. Thank you for putting this community together, for creating the coaching program, pack, and everything. And that's definitely what helped me to have this business, to be home with my daughter, with my family, and to add 4,000 per month extra, that helps too. So I'm very happy for that. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great story. And I need to thank you one more time for taking the time today on a day where you very easily could have just said, you know what, I'm going to do a self-care day. The world, leave me alone. It's the 7th anniversary of a big loss. And everyone would have understood, of course. But you made persistence your theme word, and we did this. And you poured out and you gave back in the middle of a time where you could have been feeling sorry for yourself, or at least feeling down. And thank you for that. I know that's a significant thing. It really is. And I understand those kind of anniversaries better than I used to now, having had some losses that life brings us over time. But yeah, God bless you, Dani. That was great. Well, I'm going to talk to the listeners for just a second. And I just want to say thank you. If you've listened to Dani and I today, hung out with us today, you gave us a very valuable gift, and that's some of your time. And we're very appreciative of that. Thank you for spending some time with us today. We'd love if you leave a comment, or maybe if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. That's always cool to see new subscribers popping in. Most people consume this podcast by listening on their favorite podcast app. If that's iTunes, man, we'd sure love a review. That helps boost us in the ranks. Leave us a review, 5 stars, that kind of thing. And the biggest favor you could do if you got something valuable today from this is tell a friend about silentgym.com. That's where you can go see all the podcast episodes. We've got hundreds of interviews like this with students of our coaching program and the Proven Amazon course. We've coached over 7,000 people. We've been teaching replens for well over 4 years now, incorporating it into the Proven Amazon course about 3 years or so ago. So yeah, this is what we do. And I think we've gotten pretty good at it. And I love sharing these stories. So thanks for hanging out with us today. God bless all the business building warriors out there. We appreciate you. Thanks for your prayers. We're praying for you. And Dani, my guest today, once again, thank you so much, my friend. You did great.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
And we'll have another great episode for you guys again real soon. Until then. Hey, before I let you go, I want to remind you about our latest sponsor for the program, Be Cool. They're a repricer that will help you power up your replen business and ramp up your Amazon sales with their latest conditional AI machine learning. That's artificial intelligence repricing. Auto switch between several different artificial intelligence repricing rules like inventory levels, sales velocity, units sold. There's several different, actually hundreds of different strategies that you can use, unique combinations that will give you a creative advantage over anyone else who's selling on the same ASINs that you are. You can get their special offer, which includes 30-day free trial, no credit card required. Incredible offer. Go to silentgym.com/repricer. Again, silentgym.com/repricer. Thanks for sponsoring the program, Be Cool. Go check out this offer.